Hey kids, so today we're going to go over Neanderthals and their relation to humans throughout history, or as I like to call it, the T on humanity. Now, mind you, there's about 9 subspecies of human, but if I did a video on all of them, you'd be here like an hour, so I'm just going to break it up. So, you remember Neanderthals, right? They have big flat foreheads, drug their arms in the ground when they walk, small brain, and dumb as a rock, and completely barbaric. Wrong. Neanderthals are actually a completely underrated species that were wiped out by humans about 40,000 years ago. But I'm getting ahead of myself. To understand the story of the misunderstood Neanderthal, we first need to know the story of his rival, the Homo sapien. This is where things get dramatic. Believe it or not, the human race has more betrayals and plot twists than your mom's favorite soap opera. As many of you probably know, the first evidence of Homo sapiens, aka humans, was found in modern-day Ethiopia, located in the northeastern region of Africa. So, about 200,000 years ago, humans said, you know what, I'm going to go north a little. It's kind of hot here. I want to see what I can see. So like the pests humans are, we started spreading. Our first contact with Neanderthals is said to be in these blue areas. Now, while the first map is pretty general and paints a clear picture, this is my favorite map of Neanderthal sites because it depicts when and where Neanderthals were doing their thing. As you can see, Neanderthals mainly lived in the Western and Southern Europe and the Middle East. And then there's a group all the way over here that said fuck all else and went as far from people as they could in modern-day Kazakhstan. Who can really blame them, though? I hear the summers there are splendid. Neanderthals are often made into cartoons, movies, entertainment, what have you, and they're almost always depicted as these inaudible buffoons. Neanderthal is also sometimes used as an insult to say someone is primitive or stupid. The typical non-black person has about 1.5 to 2%, but usually closer to 2% Neanderthal DNA, but that does range from as low as 1% and as high as 4% with a few of the other sources I looked at. Now, when I say non-black, that includes Europeans, Desi, Asian, Native Americans, Middle Eastern, and Pacific Islanders. People of pure African descent were thought to have no Neanderthal DNA until more recent years when everyone's mind was blown. One article from January 2020 explains it best, which I will display at the end of the video. Okay, this is where shit gets real. Oh yes, not only does the T on humanity have kids running away from their home in Eastern Africa, an affair with an entirely different human subspecies, and the birth of multiple ethnicities, but also an epic twist in which Neanderthals never entered Africa, and yet 0.3 to 0.5% of African DNA is Neanderthal. Told you this had more plot twist than your mom's soap opera. Now, you may logically ask how. The answer is actually pretty basic. A group of Africans went up to the Middle East, met up with the Neanderthals, did what people sometimes do, and came back down, spreading the DNA around through the offspring. According to one source I found, a modern African today has about 0.3% Neanderthal DNA, so that's pretty neat. Now, one may ask, why is it so cool that so many humans are descendants of Neanderthals? Aren't Neanderthals really stupid or barbaric? Like, why are we proud of this? And, to go to the next slide, anyways, Neanderthals weren't as barbaric as you may think. They had a problem with their vocal tracts, which prohibited them from being able to speak and develop a language. But they did express themselves in other ways. They painted, they had art, and a small society of their own. They also took good care of their elders, and a recent discovery suggests they buried their dead in a bed of flowers to honor them. One set of Neanderthal remains in Iraq were found surrounded by pollen, indicating that Neanderthals felt empathy. And they weren't really stupid either. In fact, they had a range of tools you can see here, and honestly, in order to survive in a rather unforgiving world over 100,000 years ago, you couldn't really afford to lack intelligence like you can today. I said what I said. So there you go, kids. That's today's T on humanity. Feel free to comment on which human subspecies you'd like me to do next. I'm thinking Denisovians, but maybe Homo habilis will tickle my fancy, or really any subject you just want me to deep dive into. Stay safe, and I hope you all have a great day. Also, here's some references for anyone that's interested. And more.